because I'm a woman, that was actually a plus, because we were working with women, and Albanian Muslim women, all Muslim women, can only be examined by a female. It's against their religion to have a male examine them or see them unclothed, even in a medical person. So my being a woman was actually a must. But all my staff that I was training were also women, and that was intentional. I mean, they intentionally chose women to be trained in this so that they could go on and provide the prenatal care. So it was a plus, not a minus. I had to interact with the Kosovo doctors, and I think in that case, interacting with the male Kosovo doctors, my being a female was a minus, because just right off the bat, I'm a lesser. You know, I'm a woman, I'm lesser. And that took a lot of sort of delicate balancing on the fence, so to speak, a lot really being diplomatic. And I had one kind of interesting story, if we have time for a story. I had gone to see a doctor. I just call him Dr. Z. I wrote this story up. It was in Advanced for Nurse Practitioners on the back page. But I had gone to see him and just to tell him what we were doing in our clinics in the countryside and so forth. He was one of the few OBGYN doctors in the country. And very nice man. You know, we had the Turkish coffee together, had a very pleasant conversation through an interpreter. My driver, Sammy, was also interpreting. Dr. Z spoke a little English, but not a lot, and I don't speak any Albanian. So we're having this conversation, and we're talking about the different birth control methods that we were offering in the village. Besides prenatal care, after delivery, you know, we would talk about contraception if the woman was interested and give her the choices we had. So I'm explaining them all, and when I get to the Depo-Provera injection, things in that room just went wild. I mean, he started yelling, and Sammy, my interpreter, they started talking real fast and leaving me out of the loop of translation. I went, what is going on? And Sammy turned to me and said, why are you giving our women an injection that will give them cancer? And I was just dumbfounded. I go, where is this coming from? More conversation between them, and the doctor stormed out of the room, and it was obvious. I mean, just his whole manner changed. I had terribly offended him. He stormed back in the room, and he slammed down a book in front of me, and it was open to a page, and it said, Depo-Provera may, or I don't remember the exact wording, but anyway, that the Depo-Provera injection was cancer-causing. And I'm reading this, and this is a medical book, a U.S. medical book in English, and I am just dumbfounded. What is this from? It took me a few minutes, not minutes, but seconds maybe, and I thumbed back and I saw it was, I believe, 1961 edition. And at that time, evidently, and I wasn't a nurse then, I didn't even know Depo-Provera had been around that long, but evidently that was the belief then. And so then there I am, sitting on the fence again, trying to think of how do I tactfully tell this doctor that he is not up to date with his information. And I pulled out of my backpack some brochures I had, you know, showed him what I could and explained this was old information, that even one of my own daughters was on it, and I certainly would never do something that would harm my own daughter. And then I promised to bring him a book that I had brought, and I'd brought a whole suitcase full of medical books to share. So I brought him a copy of Williams' Obstetrics when I came the next time, and you know, it turned it up happy, but boy, it was a tense 10 minutes in there.